Let's go. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Roman Mitz, thanks for the countdown bits. That is a good way to ensure that your name is spoken on YouTube forever. Oh, did somebody not end the prediction? So if there's a mod out there that wants to, whatever needs to be done housekeeping wise with the prediction on Twitch, please do that. I am not smart enough to ineptly call a Tetris match and administer a prediction thing at the same time. Yeah, Dewey, are you supposed to be able to do that? You're a mod. Didn't I mod you just for this purpose? No, you're not a mod. Who's a mod? There are no mods. Yeah, who can I mod? Somebody know how to do it? I'll mod you right now. All right. Oh, wait. Sunny D's going to get it. All right, I'll mod Dewey too. Why not? Eyeball wants to be a moderator? Okay. I'm in a giving mood right now. All right, that's enough. That's enough undeserved mod chips here on the channel for now. 144 for DanV, 125 for Myles. All right, Myles with the S spin, keeps the right side open. Gets rid of that little gap there. And wow, game being pretty stingy right now. The winner of this match gets into the semi-finals. And neither of these players has won a CTM Masters event. DanV getting into the semis last month. Or am I just making up things? Which is possible, because my mind is going. Yeah, no, he was in there. All right, Maisie saying good night. Good night, everyone, and good luck to DanV and Myles. 256 for Myles, 253 for DanV. Dan, of course, one of our CTM YouTube channel editors and uploaders, and Myles, I guess, is on our social media team. I think I don't know if they actually. I haven't really looked at social media in weeks, so I don't really know what they're doing. I'm sure whatever it is, it's great. So go ahead and follow us on all major platforms. Monthly Tetris. I'm sure it's fantastic. I'm sure it's unmissable. All right, Myles, trying to get this stack back in order. Set up for a Tetris, at least for the time being, but ends up taking the bird before the long bar comes. No problem. Gonna spin that Z in there and gets the Tetris. 387 Myles, 377 for DanV. Mansion said, is this the semi or the final? It is neither. It is the quarterfinals. Round 2. It's right on the screen. Round 2. All right, DanV with interesting placement there. I don't think intended, but, you know, no problem. Still low enough. All right, Ivan loves the chat. Says I can't even focus on the games because the chat is so fun. Yeah, same, bro. Same thing. All right, Dan into 19 at 458, Myles in at 506 or so. Game kind of trolling a little bit. Oh my God. All right, there we go. Long bar down the right side for Myles. DanV set up one row off the bottom for Tetris, gets it 515. All right, Myles going to uncover and take a split double down the right side just to get this stack down. Oh, there we go. Myles going for the dirty Tetris and will be rewarded. Wants to keep that lead. And is going for another one. And getting a little dire right now. And there we go. Long bar down the middle for the Tetris. See what Myles is going to do. No, he's going to take the skims. But no, he's going to build one row off the bottom. Does not want to clear away the long bar stuff that, would have been in the right column 10. There you go, taking it down. And Myles still going one row off the bottom, 641. DanV at 614 misses the Vits. Did not get the tuck of the long bar into the Vits channel there. Whatever that was, the Vits cave. I don't know what that thing is called, but whatever that is, he didn't get it in. Ends up getting the Tetris anyway, column 9. The Vits cave. That sounds like the YouTube channel. Like, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Vits cave. Like, share, and subscribe. All right, 694 here for Dan. Myles ahead by about 57,000 points. Vits, very interesting Tetris stream. He must be in the wrong stream. All right, some adjustments here for Dan. Keeping that right side open, keeping the middle filled with tetraminos. All right, I end up having to bring this down. Level 28, 730 for Dan here on 28. 816 for Myles. So there you go, the same piece sets. There's the argument for it right here. Oh, Myles with that long bar placement just before 29. Oh my word. Let's see if Myles can get out of this. Left side is a problem. Myles going to top out 857. So Dan needs to open up the right side, gets that triple and just needs one more line clear. And there it is for Dan. Dan takes game one after being behind much of that game. All right, we got two ready players. It is game two. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. So, yeah, for the YouTube people, I was mentioning that I read a review from someone who, was an American, old enough to have heard of Tetris, is a professional movie reviewer, so has some connection to like mainstream culture, but never heard of Tetris before. Like said, I started off the review by saying, I never heard of Tetris before. But I can imagine there were, so that was weird to me, but I can imagine there are enough people that maybe heard of it, but don't understand that it's like really mesmerizing, really kind of addictive and whatever. And the one thing I would say about the movie is they did not do a good enough job establishing like Tetris and sort of the mesmerizing nature of it. They just kind of assumed like, everyone will just kind of see that it's addicting and mesmerizing. So they didn't really stress that point or really dramatize that. They just kind of showed it for like 2 seconds and said, oh, it's addicting, just saying so. They could have done a better job of showing and not telling. Not that they need to sit there and play Tetris for half the movie, but I'm sure there are devices that directors can do to establish that. And there's one thing, oh my word, should I ruin it? There's one really annoying thing that happens early in the movie where the main character is using a metaphor. He's in the Nintendo building and he's using a metaphor about Nintendo games and characters. 250 here for DanV, 209 for Myles. And he gets a basic fact about the game wrong. Not Tetris, but another Nintendo game. And I'm curious how many people will actually pick up on it. And I gotta admit, it was a little bit distracting. It would not distract someone who didn't know otherwise, but it was distracting. If you ask me in Discord, I'll tell you what it is, but I won't say it here on video. All right, 278 for Myles, 319 for DanV. Or you can find out on March 31st. It's my movie guy voice. 301 for Myles, 364 for DanV. Yeah, you can ask in my Do Not DM Vandy channel if you want. That's a Discord exclusive content. 370 for Myles, 410 for DanV. All right, DanV looking to try to avoid burning a line, but will not be able to avoid it. So was perfect up until that point. I think 72 or 76 lines was perfect. So 439 for Dan. Going to get a Tetris there, 462. And Myles' Tetris is 418 at 82. So pretty good scores. Must be decent RNG for these players. Kingsman says, actually, I was invited to go watch the film tomorrow, but it's too far away. Is it at Alamo? Is it in Yonkers? I'd imagine they'd be playing it at Alamo. And that's where I know what Alamo is. Oh, okay. 491 for Myles, 531. That's not that. I mean, just go. Kingsman, honestly, they're not going to play this in theaters. So if you want to see it on a big screen, just make the trip, man. You're on Long Island. Yeah, it's going to be of a trek, but it's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see it in a theater, Kingsman. And you're a big Tetris celebrity. And you can, go in there and throw your weight around, which is substantial. 601 here for DanV, 521 for Myles. Otherwise, you're going to just watch it on some tiny screen, man. Can you imagine just bursting into theaters like, the king is here, baby! Woo! Start the movie, the king is here! All right, 674 transition for DanV. That is a big, big pace here for Dan. And Tetris into 19 for Myles. Healthy transition too at 579, but massive for Dan. All right, Myles taking the skins, getting set up for the Tetris long bar. Comes Tetris 631. Myles back by 120,000 points here on level 20. Tetris for DanV. Yeah, King, I think you gotta go because otherwise you're just gonna see it on like a small screen or sit there and watch it on your phone or whatever. And here's a chance to see it in a theater. And as a Tetris influencer, Kingsman, I think this is just something you gotta, you know, gotta suck it up and do it. I mean, this is like your life that you've chosen. $788 for Dan. Gonna take that long bar, uncover, drops one in there. Trying to get out of this. $795. Myles is back by only 53,000 points. Kingsman is a Tetris influencer. Why are you all laughing at that? He is a Tetris influencer. Why is everyone laughing at that term? That's what he is. Oh, there it is. I'm going to try to avoid the impulse to make fun of myself during this closing music that's playing. All right, DanV set up 896 for him, 799 for Myles. Yeah, Kingsman, you got to get out to... It's just Yonkers, man. You can do it. What else you got to do? Sell books that you don't even read? There we go. Myles setting up for the Dirty Tetris. 2 rows off the bottom in column 10. Dan's board all kinds of messed up. So huge pace going into 19, but that is slowed significantly for Dan. A39, but still ahead of Myles by 100,000 points, but not Myles is actually back in lines. So it's a little bit better of a situation for Myles than the scores would indicate, but we'll see. Oh, Myles going to miss that Z spin. Would have been great if you could have picked that up. And Dan just shuffling along here, actually has a Dirty Tetris setup. Really messy board going into 29, A70. Myles going to try to take this down to some level of playability. Oh no, that square to the left for Dan. That could possibly seal it. And Dan going to top out A78. So the target is A79 for Myles. A79 is the target. He's got a boatload of time. But, you know, Chasedown psychology. There we go. Triple for Myles. Piling pieces on the right. And it's going to have to clear all this down. And Myles just 19,000 points away. That left side hang. Going to be tough, but trying to burn out of it. The key here is not to go all in too soon. You know, people are like, oh, you know, I'll get the long bar eventually. And gets the long bar in. Myles for the Tetris. Kind of did go all in on that long bar. Not sure he could have fought his way out of that one if he didn't get that long bar, but there you go. That's going to be a win for Myles with the Chasedown. And it is game 3. What was once a best of 5, now best of 3 between DanV and Myles. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Wallband loves rolling. There you go. Excuse me. All right, 114 here for DanV, 114 for Myles. So all Tetrises and one single for each player. And Myles hanging that long bar over there in column 2, but 18 slow enough to get a long bar over and around. So it's going to build out that left. No problem for Myles getting set up. All right, both players with spires of S's, which makes sense since they each got a bunch of S's. It is really warm in this room right now. I spent all day freezing, and I was wearing, what is that thing? Like a slanket or a snuggie. Oh, it was a comfy. It's like the latest iteration of like oversized wearable blanket thing. So I was wearing a comfy today during work, and I was super cold, and now I'm roasting. $284 Dan, $281 Myles. I think it's because I'm in a closed room with just me talking the whole time. And it was the same score, different lines. So there you go. Super close in score. Good to see some more friends in chat. We've got Mansion and Chiz105. You gotta be careful what that means. Chiz, Eyeball, Smooth Motion, Wide is here, Sky is here, Wallbants, Gerald. Love to see Gerald back here. I don't know how we make that happen. Wish we could. But went out a champ. What else can you do? 316 here for Myles and a high dig, TikTok dig for Myles. A lot of experience. This kind of dig on really the biggest stage in the world, TikTok. Although not technically doing them on TikTok, just posting them after the fact. All right, Myles trying to bring this back down, and it's just not going away. All right, that long bar will help. Square will help. Open up the right side. Tetris down the right side. Myles with the sigh of relief. $523 Dan, $387 for Myles. So Myles up there for a while, just like singling and doubling. And DanV able to pull out to a pretty big lead. 525 through 109 is really good pace as well. Man, Dan putting up some really big pace games during this broadcast. Now, RNG has helped with some of it, but, you know, able to get this pace even in games where his, opponent did not have big pace. So, pretty good. It's kind of Sidnev-esque paces, right? All right, Myles into 19 at 482. Another 600K plus transition for DanV. Myles back by like 160,000 points. That's a lot of points. Dan with the Tetris, 672. Myles with a good board now. Trying to keep it that way, keep Tetrising. If we can get to $2,000 this month in the prize pool, then then both of these players will make it into the money. But if we don't, then both of these players will not. So certainly go ahead and, Twitch, YouTube, wherever you're watching this, contribute to the prize pool. Just go to ctm.gg/matcherino, and the options to contribute will be there. And there are both free and paid ways to contribute to the prize pool. The players get 100% of the contributions. I think Matcherino charges a small fee on the front end, but after that, we get nothing. All goes to the players. And the great thing about the prize pool is it makes all this time that the players have spent getting really good at Tetris, and it gives them, I don't know if it makes it worth it, but certainly pays them back a little bit. And Dan with a big spire in the middle of the stack gets a Tetris. So if you are entertained in several years, Classic Tetris Monthly, best thing you can do is make it worth it a little bit for the players to keep playing. So that is my pitch. The rest is up to you. 918 for DanV, 804 for Myles. E-Flat says, save your money for Mega Masters. Well, no, don't do that. Just contribute in both. All right, Tetris for DanV, 958, 936 for Myles. Myles ahead by 8 lines. So DanV definitely with the pace lead and the, of course, absolute score lead. Max out here for DanV on 27. All right, what is Myles going to do here? Just 6 lines away from 29. Just wants to have a good board going into 29. Oh, no, that long bar. Is that intentional? I'm just going to take the burns here. Emu Guy with a $20 contribution to the prize pool. Thank you so much. I asked and I receive, or they receive. Thank you so much, Emu Guy. And Myles here on level 30. Couple of squares on the right side, and just needs to bring this down. Dan with a huge lead. B53, 1.15 for Dan. Myles just trying to bring this down and get a workable stack. Oh no, actually set up for a Tetris and will not get that Tetris. At T's going to seal it. Myles going to top out here at 990. Decided to go aggro. Kind of only just, 70 something lines or so. I just figured, well, if it's going to happen, it's going to be because I'm aggressive. Let's see if we get that long bar. Did not happen. And Myles going to top out. DanV, if you want to keep going, that's okay. We'll give you the game here. So Emu Guy, again, thank you so much. All right, everybody, we have got 2 ready players. It is game 4 between DanV and Myles. DanV looking to get into the semis for the second straight month. Myles does not want that to happen. 3, 2, 1 Tetris. Roman Mitz with the countdown bits. Thank you so much. 6 bits from Roman. Yeah, Roman keeping it alive. Guys, don't let Roman carry the burden here. Countdown bits must happen every time. Or it could be the end of CTM. We're building an empire 6 bits at a time. And those are the mini bits. You can, if you want, contribute 321 bits. Well, yeah, buying bits on mobile is not a great deal. That they need to do better. like, I understand Twitch has, costs and things like that, and I'm grateful for the platform, and I don't have to do anything but just hit a button, and all of a sudden I've got a worldwide audience. Love it. But on the other hand, I mean, it's absurd, the markup on those bits. Die Shot with the Prime sub. Thank you so much, Die Shot. So I don't blame anyone who's watching on mobile who doesn't want to contribute something on Twitch. I mean, that markup is bonkers. And again, grateful for the platform. I could never do something like this myself, make a big, huge, website that everybody knows and it works all the time pretty much, and get out to a worldwide audience instantly. I have no talent whatsoever, and yet I have access to this great platform. But it just doesn't look good. Like if it were somehow secret, and then I just had to quietly be like, oh, thank you, and then end up getting nothing. It would almost be better. But I think it's just the way it presents to viewers. And I don't think the viewers maybe... They want their contributions to go to the streamer, right? And so when a big chunk doesn't, it's not a great experience to them, which I understand. All right, 329 for DanV, 271 for Myles. Oh, people mentioning like YouTube Live, and I would consider it, but I guess I don't fully understand like who would follow us over there. If YouTube people prefer like the pre-recorded and edited streams, which I think they do, that's why they're there. So I'm wary of doing it, but I understand that platform has a lot going for it. So I don't know. I got to think about it. I would try it. Maybe I would try to do a couple of streams over there, like early rounds, and just see how they do. I would kind of miss the raid culture as well. Like, I don't know. Like people raiding us. I like that. 337 Myles, 490 for DanV. Unfortunately, Fake Puck, we cannot dual stream. Just as a partner agreement here on Twitch. 514 for DanV. Another big lead for Dan over Myles, who's at 369. All right, well, maybe I'll try one on YouTube. Maybe this month. I don't know. Maybe if I, get a wild hair, maybe I'll do it. I don't have any hair. 606 for DanV. Another 600K pace into 19 in the offing here for DanV. Oh, that's a good thought. Guam says we were talking earlier about maybe doing a Tetris Effect connected tournament. Maybe do that on YouTube. That makes sense to me for some reason. Twitch is a little more comfy than YouTube is, All right, DanV into 19, 677. I don't know where Dan is getting these paces, but I mean, this is a really amazing performance. And Myles in a little bit of trouble, gets a long bar over to the right, just barely, and another one brings the stack back down. 521 Myles, 706 for DanV. I don't know what the record is, or if there is a record, but DanV, I mean, so many 600K plus transitions in one broadcast. Really impressive. Tetris DanV 767. Myles set up for the dirty, trying to avoid putting more weight on the hole, but ends up having to. Gets the Tetris 564. DanV 822 here on 22. Just bonkers. There's a Tetris for Dan, 851, and is ahead by like 260,000 points. And a must-win game for Myles. Smooth Motion, can you put what you just said about that plugin in my Vandy channel so I don't forget? $691 for Myles, $971 for Dan. Thank you. All right, Tetris here for Myles, 754, trying to close this gap any way he can. And max out here for DanV on level 26. There's another Tetris, A46. Myles going to uncover. Good clean board now. Still back by about 250,000 points. Going to get a Tetris. There's one in for Dan. All right, Myles having to just throw some stuff down on the right side, take a few burns. Does not really want to burn, but I think's forced him to do it. B46 Dan, 835 for Myles. So gap is closing. Or not really. Actually, no, it is not. Sorry, Vandy math moment. Oh, no. Dan's board on the left side. Oh, this is so interesting. And Dan is in real trouble. We'll see what Dan can do here. Dan going to top out at C21. Myles has over a 200,000 point Chasedown and has all day to do it. I mean, has 100 lines basically to do it, and really needs to execute. It's all on Myles now. Needs to get to C22. Now Tetris is here, you know, at this level right now, worth between 36 and 40,000 points. You know, and at the very end at level 39, they're going to be worth 48,000 points. So, you know, that's an argument just for being really selective, taking a Tetris here and there, and is now back by less than 100,000 points. It's really just less than three Tetrises away. And, you know, it's just a matter of like, all right, singling, doubling, taking the Tetris here when the game gives you one. But you really don't have to force anything. He's actually setting up for one right here. And there's a Tetris, ends up creating a gap. B88 is really just one Tetris away. And is going for that Tetris. Wants that Tetris. And long bar here. Tetris on the right side. And Myles will chase it down. Over 200,000 point chase down for Myles to force the deciding game 5. And there's another Tetris, Myles, D81. So that's the 1.3. And if he wants to go ahead and mulling this out, no problem. Just another 10 lines to go till 39. Set up for 2, Myles. Set up for 2 Tetrises. I think trying to do that, actually. Yeah, going for the 2 Tetrises right here. Oh, no, he's going to cover the hole with the T. Actually, still available. Get it. Get it. There's the 2 Tetrises. Holy mackerel. Oh, no. 2 lines away from the first level 40 in CTM line cap era. Oh my word, 2 Tetrises, but cannot get the other 2 lines to get to 40. Oh, ends up with a F.5. 4.5, because 4 begins with F, right? So there you go, 1.55. Started back 200,000 points behind. Ended up 330,000 points ahead. So, you know, really got a lot of points. It is Myles. It is DanV. The winner goes to the semi-finals. And DanV looking to make it to the semis 2 months in a row. Myles looking at, I really feel like Myles wants a championship. You know, it's like the one thing Myles does not have and wants to get it. So let us go ahead and get this underway. Here we go. 3, 2, 1 Tetris. What was once a best of 5, now a best of 1. Roman Mitz with the countdown bits. Stanislaw with the countdown bits has got desktop countdown bits, baby. Decider. Thank you so much, Stanislaw. Yeah, desktop bits are cheaper bits, but just as good. We're at 1 game to get into the semis, and at the current prize pool, you know, those are the prizes. Top 4 pays out until we get to 2,000. Now we can pay top 8. So we'll see how this month goes. It is an interesting month because, you know, we've got Mega Masters next month. So I don't know if people are like, okay, well, I want to make a really big splash next month. We're kind of saving it up, which makes sense. And that's why we need some of our, you know, kind of smaller contributors here. All right, DanV kind of piled up on the left, that long bar channel. So really needs to bring this down. Ariane Saint Amour with the 400 bits. Thank you so much for the contribution to the channel. That helps support, helps support our operations, and it helps support our super streamers who take care of the other brackets throughout the month. That is where that money goes, along with the YouTube money, which and Twitch money, which all go to DanV and to Pumpy, and then Vandy. I don't know. What does Vandy get? Nothing. A little bit. Every once in a while, I'm able to pull out a little bit. 184 for DanV, 193 for Myles. Chiller loves Twitch money. Oh, did I pay February out yet? I gotta check. I don't remember. Thought I did, but I was waiting for the Google money to come in, the YouTube money, and something happened where my payment method became unverified. How does that happen? I have no idea. Same payment method for years, and just all of a sudden, like, oh, it's not verified. Yeah, all right. So a little late on the payroll here for the super streamers. 277 for DanV, 268 for Myles. Oh, true. Maybe it was SVB. Maybe it was Silicon Valley Bank was involved. DanV with the Vits and the Tuck. And the Vit, really. Yeah, the Tuck is the Vit. The setup is the Vits. Oh, Dan able to bring that T back to make room for the incoming long bar and get the Tetris. And another one for Dan. So able to be pretty efficient here. 371 Dan, 364 for Myles. comes down, not all, but this bracket comes down to this game. All right, 508 here for DanV. Kind of flirting with another 500K transition. 2 more Tetrises would get it. And there's one of those Tetrises. And another one. And oh, it just needs one line clear, but basically would do it. Or we'll see. That bar not coming, getting droughted at the wrong time. Gets that long bar down for the 624 transition. And another 600K plus transition for Dan. 520 for Myles. And Dan already into level 20 at 659. All right, 738 Dan here. Going to set up with the long bar in column 9 and get another one for the Tetris. 765, another one, 793. So another 200,000 point lead for Dan. Now, of course, Myles with a big chase down in the previous game. So there's still a lot of Tetris to be played. But it's got to feel good, even if you're behind. Obviously not good to be back by over 200,000 points, but it does feel good to know, okay, I can chase this down if I need to. And if I get the opportunity. Dan with the miss drop, trying to give Myles maybe that opportunity. All right, Myles with a Tetris, 729, trying to cut that lead. Dirty Tetris down the left side for Dan. Kind of bringing that piece back there to make room for the long bar and take that triple instead of, kind of a double or less. And the game throwing squares at Dan. And this is getting a little tricky. Gets that long bar a little bit bailed. With a nice burn for Dan. All right, Myles trying to uncover here. Dan in a little bit of a situation. And this is really dicey. And getting those squares over to the left. Okay. Oh, beautiful long bar here for Dan. A long bar would be great here for Dan. He's at 949. There's one right down there. Okay. Gonna uncover the right side, looking for one last bar just to get down the right. That left side, kind of a mess. And Dan's not gonna be able to get the bar over. So we're in chase down situation here. For Myles, needs 954 and chains, and a long bar down the right side. Still needs 9,000 points and has got it. There it is. For Myles, DanV is going to top out. Myles with the mini chase down here. No 29 required. And let me tell you, what a game. I mean, Myles obviously winning here, but what a series today from DanV. I am super impressed with DanV here. Not able to make it to the semifinals, but oh my word, you really got to predict big things here for DanV in the near future. I mean, come on. So good. So good. But Myles, just a little bit better, did what it took to win and make his way into the semis. We'll watch him do what he's going to do here. Here, you want to watch right here? Here, we'll watch the raw feed here. CTM Raw. All right, little victory lap here. There's a Tetris for Myles. All right, with the E14, there's another Tetris down the right side. So this is what you want to do. When you do the mullen, you do it right, you go aggressive. There is another Tetris down the right side, F13, looking for that rollover. Still has 21 lines to go before 29. There's a Tetris F64. Now we'll see if Myles can get into position. Another Tetris got the rollover. We'll see if Myles can get in position, maybe to get to level 40. Oh no, that left side. And that is going to seal it, but we have a victory, and it is big face, big head Myles right there. There's your big face. There's the big face right there, Myles. I mean, how do you not win with a head that big? Look at that giant face. Let's see how long we can keep him streaming and just staring into the smiling awkwardly, this big face. How long can we keep him on here? Oh no. What? Uh-oh. Wait, what happened? Hey everybody, this is your old pal vandweller, host of Classic Tetris Monthly, and I'm asking you to do me a favor. If you like this video, hit thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, please subscribe and bang that notification bell. And follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/monthlytetris. Thank you, and have a nice day.